Have you ever noticed this? Before stepping into the garden, everything was normal. Birds were singing. Sounds were coming from the fences, from the trees. Different sounds coming from everywhere. Then you opened the door, and everything went silent all at once. Not just for a moment. It truly stopped completely. Did that silence bother you? If it didn't, it should now. Because that silence was not a coincidence. That silence was an answer given to you. Most people don't even notice this. They step into the garden, look around, see no birds or anything, and go back inside. But now you will look differently. That moment, the exact moment you opened the door, every living creature in the garden heard you, felt you, and made a decision. You must stay silent. So why? Why did your footstep freeze everything? The answer is much deeper than you think, and when you finish this video, you will never step into the garden the same way again. First, you need to understand this. Birds don't choose to be silent. Silence for them is an action. An active, conscious, and intentional action, actually. When a bird stops singing, it isn't pressing a button. It is making a calculation. And the result of that calculation may be speaking of a dangerous situation. In nature, silence is never an empty state. Silence is a signal given to you, and you are the trigger of that signal. Think about this. In your garden, early in the morning, there are dozens of birds, each one going about its own business. Who will eat what? Who will perch where? Who will watch whom? This seems like the flow of normal life, but it isn't. This is a system, and the most important part of that system is this. Everyone is listening to each other. When one bird gives an alarm, the others don't need to hear it. They hear the silence. Just one bird stopping its song is enough. Only one bird is needed for the wave to spread, and that wave reaches every corner of the garden within seconds. When you opened the door, you started that wave, but here is the real question. Why were you considered a threat? You didn't harm them. You simply stepped outside. The answer lies in the journey of evolution. Birds have learned one rule over millions of years to survive. Sensing danger in advance. Not after it happens, right before it happens, because after it happens, it may already be too late. And this rule says the following. If something large, bipedal, and unpredictable is approaching, be silent, wait, assess, but carefully. But pay attention. This is not a personal matter about you. This is about their instinct, the default response when an unfamiliar human is spotted, to wait in complete silence. But here's the interesting part. These situations can change over time, and this has probably already started to change in your garden. Now think. How does the footstep of someone entering your garden for the first time sound? You would think of it as harsh, uncertain, unpredictable. What about the footstep of someone who has been stepping out at the same time every morning for weeks? A familiar presence. It shows you are predictable, that you are a safe haven. Birds recognize you. They truly do. Not just as this human is harmless, but as this is the one who comes out every morning at 8 o'clock. There is research proving this. In a study conducted at the University of Washington, researchers discovered something striking about crows. They approached crow nests wearing specific masks just once. Then, for years, the same masked faces walked through the same park. The crows remembered. They attacked those individuals. They taught their young. Even young crows that had never seen that mask began to attack. This is not instinct. This is recorded memory. It is a form of learning. And the little sparrow, the great tit, the magpie in your garden, also has a file on you. It may not be as detailed as a crow's, but it is much closer than you think. Now let's go back to that silence. You opened the door, and everything stopped. So what does this really mean? There are two possibilities. If the birds in the garden suddenly went quiet and you haven't stepped outside, stop. Look, something is there. Maybe a bird of prey, Maybe a cat somewhere in the distance, maybe an unexpected movement in a corner of the garden. Birds are your early warning system, and this system is free. It requires no installation. You only need to learn to listen. All of this shows the following. That silence was not a rejection. It was an evaluation test. And every morning you open that door, the test begins again. But know this. When you start passing that test, that silence will give way to wings waiting for you, to gazes that recognize you, to living creatures that choose to share the same garden with you. Tomorrow morning, pause for a second before opening the door. Hear the sound, then step out slowly, and watch. How quickly did they go silent? Or did they go silent at all? Write your answer in the comments. I read every one of them. Nature is speaking. Learn to listen. See you in new videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.